And welcome to the show, Geeks Wired Podcast. We're talking about video games, movies, TV, comic books, technology, and TLDR, the Internet of Things. Yeah. One of the co-hosts is Anthony.
And a Bill.
Yay. And you can contact us by emailing us at geekswired@gmail.com or send us a voicemail or a text message at 801-896-4335. It's also 801-896-GEEK. You also can help support us by going to our Patreon page at patreon.com/geeksarewired, where you have access to the podcast early, or an option to have the podcast early, and it also does help. Yay!
Yay.
And with that, we shall go into... With all of the new things of Google and Apple and everyone else cutting off the tracking tokens, means that the companies need to start being creative on gathering your personal information. So instead of it being sold from somebody to somebody else through the internet, they now ask for it directly.
I mean, some of them do. There's ways around it, like with their latest thing with the email. With Apple's Mail app, they're going to disable the invisible pixels is what they call them.
Yes.
And just basically make it harder to track you. But at this point, I'm pretty sure what all that's going to mean is that instead of the pixels being, like the invisible pixels being the thing tracking you, they'll just make the URLs to the images and stuff like specific to you, or have some kind of like tag at the end of it. Apparently, so they can track you that way. And
they also can check if it's been opened.
Yeah. And that is what most, especially like email news, like newsletters, they use those metrics to see how useful they're being, see if they're actually being opened or if they're just like getting binned, basically.
Do you know Google actually destroys that metric?
Why? What do you mean by that?
It opens them all.
Oh.
It marks it as every email gets marked as opened, even if they've never been opened.
Well, that makes sense because they open them to comb them.
Yeah.
Because that's how their ads get targeted to you inside their Gmail app.
So that's also how they comb them to see if they're spam, or there's good to that as well.
Yeah, there's also lots of services that'll open emails. Like there was one for like a tracking app that I had that, by tracking I mean like you could put in shipping tracking numbers and it would just be in a central location. You could give it access to your Gmail account and then it would comb through the emails as you receive them to automatically put in the tracking details, which is convenient, but I didn't want to give that app like full view of my email. So
understand.
But yeah, just stuff like that. And
so with Apple, those are ways to get around to become creative, especially where a lot of places aren't selling it to them. Amazon, if they don't give the seller's information to you, they keep a hold of it. They don't let the seller actually contact you and go like, hey, we want you to know how your product is. We want to know, which is not just that, but it's also good so they know what their customer base is.
Yeah, they can. I've got emails from them before.
Depends on some
it's
of those.
It's been a few years, but I used to get emails. I think I turned it off.
Yeah, Amazon's been blocking that a lot lately.
Okay, that's good.
Except for it hurts the sellers because then they don't know what their customer base is. And that means they will start making bad products because they don't know any better. There's good and bad to, the sellers knowing who you are. And that's when you would go to a store, they would know who you are because you're physically there, you're physically interacting, and you can leave surveys, and you can grow from that. But it does, the internet has made it so a lot faster and a lot more to gather like-minded, or even recruiting, making bases of, this is my customer base, let us advertise to people like this to grow my customer base or to grow my sale or my selling ability.
I think Amazon does that by doing targeted advertising instead. like on their platform.
But they've also been known
just
to still put certain companies off the list.
Yeah.
So the sellers are relying on the middleman to do good for them.
It's just like the YouTube, their algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have any like sympathy really for the people who sell stuff on Amazon just because, well, I mean, I have some, but I mean, this thing of not being able to contact me, I don't think is that big of a deal just because I personally hate it. And like, it just adds more junk email to my email.
And, obviously, if, you don't just blanket spam everyone who sells you or you've sold stuff to, you create a relationship. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen, which a lot of retailers have forgotten how to do or been doing poorly with this. So this is actually making them start making relationships, start making better personalized reasons for you to hand them their information. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes a little creepy. HBO is doing one that's interesting.
What are they doing?
They're asking for your phone number.
For why?
To send you a text.
For why?
So you know what's going on in the world of Gossip Girl XOXO. HBO Max is going to... At first, they are rebooting. I thought they were going to be a continuation of like Them is Older. No, this is a full-on, whole new actors and actresses.
So is it a remake or is it more of a like they're in the now with different people?
No. Unless these are the kids, these are fully separate.
Well, I know they're separate, but what I meant by that is like, when was Gossip Girl originally made?
Like 5 years ago.
Oh, that's it. Never mind.
Maybe 7. I think it went off the air like a couple of years, 3. I don't think it's been off the air that long.
So it's a sequel in that it's in the same universe and they're going to do the same kind of stuff, but it's completely different people.
No. I thought it was a sequel. I didn't say this said it was a sequel. This says it's a reboot.
Oh, it literally says reboot?
Yes.
Okay.
It literally says reboot. But you end up getting the text messages of Gossip Girl's source information directly from the source of the scandalous lives of the Manhattan elites.
So are you going to get this stuff as this episodes are airing?
You're getting stuff now.
Right, but I mean...
There might be.
I'm just wondering if this is like kind of giving you background lore or whatever.
It could.
Or more information, because that would be kind of cool in a way. Like, you're right, it is interesting. And this is one way to have people give you their phone numbers.
And also maybe a little more involvement, a little more like I feel part of the show. There's some, because like Amazon, if you have the app open on your phone while you're watching the show, you actually get details of the scene. Like who's in the scene, details about the recording of the scene, why this scene is a certain way, if it's anything historical or anything like, more details of this event in the real event. So Amazon actually does it. So, and other shows have had this like interaction type of thing. So this would be an interesting interaction. Plus then HBO then knows, hey, these locations are the places that this show is popular or so many people signed up. So many people responded. So it's a very direct, like we understand. They have to be careful not to abuse it, obviously.
Yeah, not start sending out spam.
Yeah.
Like Verizon.
This will be interesting.
You should sign up for it just to see what it does.
I should.
I'm not going to sign up for it.
I did think about it. I actually have thought about it a few times.
I never watched Gossip Girl, so I'm not really into it.
It's Archie and the Gang in Manhattan.
It's what, the gang?
Archie and the Gang.
Really? Like it's the same kind of feeling?
That's exactly what I felt with it. So it was, to me, it was absolutely awesome when they ended up creating.
Let me make sure we're
with the
talking about
same
the same
writers. Archie, Jughead, Veronica, Archie, Redhead Archie, Veronica, Jughead.
Keep going. I'm gonna look. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same one.
Just type in Archie and the Gang.
Nope. Talking about different ones.
I was like, they made a show. CW made a show.
I was thinking of Archer.
Oh, no, not Archer.
That's much less exciting.
Yes, I was like, how did you like? Yeah, that I see. I'm like, now you're like, why? You were like, why is it? This is not very Archer. Yes, I see what you mean. And the writers from Gossip Girl went to Archie for the CW.
Okay.
Let's see. So I have to. Did it just text me?
Did you just text it?
No. I'm like, well, I'm trying to like, how do I sign up for it? Is it just? I think you just go. Really?
The post is gone.
No.
Do you have your VPN on? Because that opened up a weird URL.
I think it was just the link that it sent. Because, I don't know. It worked. Yeah, you just type text me. And it comes back, hello there, follower. I'm guessing you want to get blasts on the scandalous lives of New York's elite. Well, who am I to keep you out of the loop? Click the link to be added to our inner circle. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Oh, you have to click the link again, huh?
I clicked the link.
What did it do?
It took me in to add your contact information.
Oh.
So I have to provide it. Now they're getting all the information.
You thought it was just a phone number.
Oh, I have to tell them my gender identity. My birth date. I don't know how I feel about that.
I've kind of given up on the birthday thing.
I don't have to give my email.
That's good.
Yeah.
Although I think I'd rather get email spam than SMS spam.
Yeah.
Because email spam mostly gets filtered out. Mostly. I still get lots of like Biden care related emails, which isn't a thing. It's just spam.
Well, there we go.
And by spam, I mean phishing.
Yeah. Now it's like, thank you, follower. You're now on my list to get updates from me. Now let's have some fun. XOXO. Message frequency will vary. Blah, blah, blah. Apparently there's also a gossipgirl.vcf. VCF. Actually, that's not one I recognize.
Video card?
Yeah, that did not help.
VCF acronym. Extension? Do extension.
It's a text file.
I don't think that's the one that we...
Yeah.
Weird.
It is. All right. Well, that happened. So, HBO. I'll keep you guys updated on Gossip Girl and the secret life of the Manhattan elite. Or if you want to, you can always sign up. It's in the show notes in the article. It's linked.
Yeah.
Among other reboots that are coming along. Have you heard about this one?
Yeah, I've heard about it. And I haven't heard anything like official since I've heard about it.
Yeah, it was one of those many pre-pandemic things that got... Because it was talked about in 2017, confirmed in 2018, revealed in 2019, has a small little bit of something. It's been approved for 10 episodes.
Just 10?
That's all the season had.
It had more than 10.
I'm pretty sure the first season only had like 10 episodes.
There were 26. Unless that was considered 2 seasons at some point. But that's usually still that'd be like 13 and 13.
Oh, you're thinking of like most normal.
No, I mean this one was like there was only 1 season. It just might have been in 2 parts. But yeah, there's 26 episodes.
I see. I don't know why I thought it was multiple seasons.
Because usually what ends up happening is they'll do the first 12 or the first half and then either wait a while or, well, obviously wait a while and then the next part will come out. That's happening a ton in the like during the pandemic and after.
Well, that also happened with the writer's strike way back when. That's why the holiday break became such a big break. It wasn't just because of the December. It was like there was months. They started throwing months in between it, the mid-season breaks.
Just to kind of pre-plan for it.
Well, the writer's strike kind of created a habit, or created an event that became a habit.
So
right.
I'm just hoping that if it's only 10, that they're not going to try to shove the entire season into it, because that would be sad.
Yes, but also you have to be careful with Netflix because they are very sudden on canceling episodes. That's something I've learned. Like,
I'd still rather that than have it be all shoved into 10 episodes.
They'll cancel it mid-season. They've done that too.
So they're worse than Fox is.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they're not. Fox has canceled stuff mid-season too.
I guess it's hard to pull it off as much, but with Netflix, because things are still in production, they usually aren't releasing over time. They will cancel a show mid-recording.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Without even knowing the metrics.
Oh, they'll just pay, like, it cost too much or whatever else, or last season we decided it wasn't good enough, because Netflix metrics is it has to bring in new followers and it has to be popular enough to be watched at a later time to keep followers, to keep people subscribed. It has to bring in subscribers and it has to be popular enough to be replayable to keep subscribers. That is what Netflix cares about above all else.
No, that's fair.
Because,
makes sense.
You subscribe for Stranger Things because it's big, it's important, everyone's talking about it, and then you stay for Friends.
Or other stuff that they have on there.
Well, actually, as of now, it's How I Met Your Mother.
But I guess that would be even more important for their in-house stuff just because they own it.
Uh-huh.
So they, of course, like they wouldn't want something that would just be watchable once. Like by a lot of people. Because a lot of people like rewatch stuff later.
Mm.
There's some people who really get into something and will just like watch it over and over again for a while. And they'll come back. But there's some that will come back yearly and watch it. Like I used to do that with some shows. So
yeah. And there's some shows, like, honestly, Stranger Things, though, falls into the more... I don't think it has that rewatch as much, but it is so big that it pulls people in.
Yeah, or you'll have people watch it with people who haven't watched it.
Yeah. I kind of hope... I don't know. Yes, they're probably going to make it episode by episode exactly, which is a good thing it's a show and not a movie.
I don't necessarily want it like episode by episode. Like, yeah. I don't want it to be a carbon copy.
I don't either.
Just because I think that's not going to translate well. Like, it would be faithful to the original material because I'm pretty sure they're basing it off the TV show, not necessarily off of any source material that there might have been. But I don't want it to be like, just because it doesn't show any originality if they're just going to copy everything that they did. Mm-hmm. Especially like if they copy the exact phrases and stuff. So, but I am kind of excited to see what they can do with special effects and stuff, because there's a lot of like Cowboy Bebop is it's a space western basically.
Yes,
and so there's a lot of space stuff and other interesting sci-fi stuff and consequences of that.
They do have manga they could pull from.
Well, there's probably also like that might be old enough where there's not a light novel. Because usually, like nowadays, they do light novels and mangas usually.
Uh-huh.
but that might just have been a manga.
Yeah, these are just little snippets. There is a movie.
Really?
Yes. The Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Interesting.
Yes.
I wonder if I've seen that.
It released back in September of 2001 in the United States in 2003.
It might have been what season 2 was going to be.
I think it, if I remember, it is in the middle of it all. It is not.
Oh, no. Okay, that's actually pretty common in anime.
Yeah.
They'll do like a movie of a bigger event later on.
Mm-hmm.
Like Full Metal Alchemist has a couple of those. I think for both seasons, actually, they have that. Like for, okay, not seasons because they're technically two different shows, but they have it for the original and for Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Where they just like, there's like an episode, it's like, if there were 20 episodes, there's like an episode 11.5 or something where that movie would technically take place. So that's probably something that, like you said, it was done in the middle, so that's semi-ideal.
Yeah.
I do hope they have the music, though, like the same style of music. Because there's a lot of jazz.
You're going to love this.
Jazzy stuff. What's that?
It's the same composer.
Ooh.
They brought back that composer.
How old is he now?
I don't know, actually.
It's only 20 years, so it's not like that's big of a deal. I mean, the same person who's been working on Mario forever is still technically involved, and that's been like 30 years almost. So it's not exactly weird.
I'll look at Star Wars.
Okay. I got a tangent now.
With what?
Rugrats.
Yes, what about Rugrats?
They have a new show.
Okay.
On Paramount.
Interesting. Are they adults?
No, they already did that. They had one that was called All Growed Up. They weren't technically adults, but they were like old teenagers, like 16, 17. I don't know if I like the look of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like...
It's super CG.
It's CG. It's not bad. It's just...
It's almost claymation, though.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of going for the same kind of look that... Did you ever watch Jimmy Neutron?
Yes.
It kind of looks like that, but less, like, refined. Because you're right, this does look more clay-like. You'd have to click on a bigger image, I think, to actually kind of see.
Well, I was trying to click into an article, and the article was not liking me, so...
Click into that, one of those two images up there.
Oh.
Or you can click into that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, it's super claymation looking. Almost like plasticky claymation looking.
Yeah, so they're definitely doing this for, like, an art style choice.
Yeah.
So...
Actually, maybe even toys. Like, almost like a claymation Barbie.
It also looks... I don't know if this is just the trailer that's like this, but it looks like the frame rate was kind of low in some parts, so it almost looks stop motion-y too. But that probably was just the trailer being blotchy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like kind of creepy, but like, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine. But I just saw, like, when I opened up my Apple TV the other day, it was because at the top it'll scroll through, like, posters more or less of stuff that is showing.
Yeah.
And this came up on Paramount Plus. So. But yeah, it's basically, it's the original series reboot. It's not like the all grown up version. Are they using the same voice actors?
No clue.
That's an interesting choice. Just because your mouse is dying.
No, I clicked the middle button.
Oh, well, there you go. Why'd you do that?
Because it's sensitive. That's not the button. That's not the clicking I wanted. I wanted the IMDb.
But this show used to be one of my favorites, so I probably hate it just because it's not going to match up with what I remember. Which is fair, because that's how the brain works. And to be fair, I probably wouldn't like the show if I were to rewatch it now. Or I wouldn't like some of it at least.
I never was
Especially
into
the older stuff.
Rugrats. I was
liked
too
it
old.
a lot.
I was too old for Rugrats.
You're never too old for Rugrats.
I'm
Nickelodeon had a commercial that said that too.
I was too old. I'm currently still too old. And guess what? You're saying it. You're too old. Deal with it.
I meant for the new one.
Means you're too old. You're too old for Rugrats.
No, what I meant by that is I have like...
The answer to your question, I
No.
believe, is yes.
No.
No. The same actor, or same voice actors.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not super... Wow, that show went on for a lot longer than I thought it did.
92 to 2006.
I knew it until 2006, but I didn't know it was that old. Like, I didn't know it went to 92. But... And there's all growed up and they're right there.
Yeah, so
2003. Well, they were airing at the same time. Interesting.
And a couple years after.
Yeah, the couple of years after makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Oh, there it is.
Actually, yeah, she's the voice of... Is that... She's the voice of Bart.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
She does a lot of boy characters.
Well, yeah, because they're usually a little bit
Yeah,
higher.
they're kids usually, so that makes sense. I just remember seeing that way back when.
Not all of them are the same actors, voice actors.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Some of them might be either too old for the role or they just didn't want to do it. Or dead. Some of them are probably dead. Because it has been a while.
Yeah, and well, also some people with careers move on and things like that. There's some people. This is like Nancy Cartwright. She does all the voices.
What does she do? Like, I know she's Chucky in this, but what else does she do?
Bart Simpson.
Oh. I thought you were talking about Tommy.
No, she does Bart Simpson.
Who does Tommy?
Who does?
Because I think that's also a girl.
Elizabeth Daily. I feel like this
That one
lady
I think is new.
looks too young to have been part of the old one. But she still does voices. She does. Looks like Powerpuff Girls.
The newer one.
There's a newer one?
I don't know. I don't think they've been making Powerpuff Girls like the original series for a long time.
Never mind. She's part of the old ones.
Holy crap.
She's actually original Tommy as well.
Is that an older photo then? No, it's not. People are just really good with makeup.
Yeah.
Or she just
She was in
looks good
Pee-wee's
still.
Big Adventure.
She's also in Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Charlotte. Who is Charlotte? Oh, I know who Charlotte is. She's I think the Angelica's mom.
Ah.
I think. But anyway. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Is it airing now? I don't remember. Yes.
Currently has 5 episodes out.
Starting on May 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Already 5 episodes? It's been 5 weeks since then.
Okay, there's 5 episodes on IMDb.
Oh, okay.
Actually, there are 5 episodes out. They were all on the 27th
Weird.
of May.
Maybe they're only releasing 5 episodes.
It's possible. Maybe they're doing the Netflix thing.
That'd be weird. No, the Netflix thing is just like, they dump everything on there.
This is season 1. They just dumped everything on there.
It just seems too short. I don't know why I'm complaining. I was just saying that I probably wouldn't like it.
I know. I was like...
Is their score system out of 10?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, you.
Actually, it's out of 5. Just ignore the 5.4.
There's also a 5.2.
And that one, too.
What the heck?
That means it's amazing. It's an amazing episode.
Is it really out of 5 only?
I'm pretty sure it's out of 10.
Yeah,
Yes, it's out of 10.
That sucks.
It's a... No. A 5 is a perfectly average, forgettable thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
That means it also means that there are people who absolutely loved this. There are people who absolutely hated this, and there are people who just like, yeah.
A lot of them were probably the people who watched the original too. So
Well, And watching the original doesn't mean you dislike things. Like, I absolutely loved the new Thundercats.
Yeah, but what I meant by that is like usually people, especially if there's a big gap between the original and whatever new one they're making, people end up like they have these fond memories of the thing, and then it doesn't match up.
How big of a gap is a big gap? Because I'm pretty sure Thundercats actually falls under a bigger gap than this one.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't. I would say around 10 years, probably 10 to 15.
Yeah, Thundercats falls under a bigger gap than that.
I'm not surprised.
It's like a 20-year gap.
Samurai Jack was similar too, I think. As was
Samurai Jack?
Yeah, Samurai Jack had a new season come out like a couple years ago after a huge hiatus.
I actually had no clue about that.
Really?
And also, Thundercats, actually, they barely made it one season, but they did a good job at like explaining themselves or explaining the story behind it. It wasn't like the 1980s cartoons where it was like very sitcom-y, very episodic, where nothing really tied to anything else. They always resolved everything by the end. Like, this one was very building up story.
Yeah, Samurai Jack, they went from 2004 to 2017. 2004 was season 4, 2017 was season 5.
Oh, you're talking about the same show, just a massive
You're
gap
right.
in between
It is a little different. This doesn't. I actually don't think this counts because I think they also tried to keep the same style and everything. Still.
Yeah. I think they had to change something because somebody ended up dying.
Yeah.
But okay. I think it was a coup. Actually, I think a coup died.
Oh, okay. Well, he was in 2017 still.
Maybe. When did I clicked on a coup and not the actor's name, not Mako. I feel like he passed away. No, he is not in the 2017 one because he died in 2006.
Maybe he's still. Well, he may have been in the 2017 one, but they may have had lines recorded.
Well, and it could be also because sometimes they put the date on there, going like, "This is when that show ran." IMDb is really weird on what they cover.
Well, because IMDb isn't it user somewhat driven?
A little bit, so it's a mix. But yeah.
So scroll up a little bit. Okay, never mind. It's right there. Space Jam. What do you think about that?
The remake they're gonna do?
Yeah.
I think isn't Michael Jordan it for a smidgen?
Oh, I don't know.
I think Bugs Bunny.
I don't know anything about it. I just know it's a thing.
Good for WB. They're actually like dusting off a 100-year-old cartoon to keep it going.
Instead of just letting it die.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny is what I'm talking about.
Like they did. I know.
Just all the Bugs Bunny. They just.
Well, they'll have all the other people in there too, I think.
And the art on this looks a little, because they brought them back. They brought Looney Tunes back for a bit, and I thought maybe it did look weird. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I didn't get into it because I was watching other cartoons at the time.
I barely got into it. I think the only one I got into kind of was the Animaniacs.
Oh, no. I'm talking like within the last 4 or 5 years. They brought it back.
Oh, okay. I didn't get into that.
No, they do kind of reboot, but up through the 90s, they were playing the same cartoons they were playing back in like the 40s.
Yeah, they started doing new ones in around like in the 90s-ish, 90s, 2000s, a little bit. Like the Animaniacs was around that. Like the one I'm thinking of, at least, they had a show around that time, and it was on like WB Kids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That I used to watch. Like that was the only like good over-the-air television network that had cartoons in my area. So Yu-Gi-Oh! Also came out on there.
They don't even have the original air date of these. They just like have when these shows were being rebroadcast.
Yeah, because they probably don't have the air dates, or at least easy access to them.
Or somebody doesn't, so they didn't.
Whoever put the information in, probably doesn't.
And technically, what they're saying with these, like with the Looney Tunes cartoons, like, oh yeah, from 2019 on. Come on, really? I guess this might be the.
I like that photo on the right, on the left of it. It looks like it's an older photo, but with a phone.
Yeah. I think it might be because they're re-showing the old ones, or it's maybe just the older style drawing. Maybe they did bring it back and I just
Remastered a bit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, reboots.
There's all of them, lots of them.
Wait, did you watch the reboot?
Of
Reboot?
Huh?
Reboot.
What's Reboot?
So when the user logs onto the computer to play games, Bob, the defender, needs to come in and make sure that the user actually doesn't win. Because if the user wins, it actually does some damage to the sector, and then, is it hexadecimal? No, not hexadecimal. What is his name?
The heck is Reboot?
Reboot.
Which movie? Was it a series?
It was a series. It was a TV show.
In 1994?
Yeah, and there's a Netflix one too.
I've never heard of Reboot.
They rebooted it twice. Especially when the Bob ended up getting connected to with the computer.
So 1990s.
Yeah, when the computer connected to the internet, Bob became the defender of the entire network of all of the computers, and he ended up meeting other Bobs.
Other Bobs?
Other Bobs.
Was this a play off of Windows Bob?
It's possible. And then there was Dot Matrix. She had a really nice cafe. Megabyte. Yes, he was the bad guy. And Hexadecimal. They were very, very bad things.
Because Megabyte back in 1994 was actually a big deal still.
I know.
Now it would be like Zettabyte or something.
Well, they brought back Megabyte. A hacker actually woke up or released Megabyte and gave him more power so he would actually take over, and they had to recruit.
Did he become Zettabyte or Gigabyte, or was he still just Megabyte?
He was still Megabyte.
Lame.
I know.
They could have called him Terabyte for terror.
I know.
Because, yeah, Megabyte now would just seem like a small fry. Guess it's better than Kilobyte. Or just Byte. Rawr.
Yeah.
The show, like, I was just watching the
Cool.
little trailer that played at the top. A little intro where it's just, like, zooming in on, like, a what looks like a city.
Yeah.
So 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to watch this if I tried.
So, the new one...
New-ish one?
No, the reboot, the Netflix one, was just...
2012? Because it just says it's a short. Meaning it was just one thing.
This is not...
It's only 40 minutes.
This is... Either I really... No, this is so not it. I'm like looking at the photos. That is so not it.
Reboot Netflix.
Yeah.
Reboot the Guardian Code.
Oh, yeah. There we go. IMDb apparently is not doing well. So they ended up these people ended up logging in online. Like they kind of put their essence in. So it was very much like The Matrix. So if they got... And there's some other shows? I forget what it is.
That sounds more like Tron to me.
Well, so if they got fragged online, they actually died in the real life.
Yeah, that's why I said it actually sounds like more like Tron, because Tron actually absorbs you, whereas like the Matrix, you're just like plugged in. You're basically in VR.
No, they still could die.
They could die in the Matrix. If
Smith got a hold of you,
yes,
you would be brain fried.
But what I meant by that is that you still have a physical body in physical space, whereas in like Tron, at least in the newer one, Legacy, actually I think in the old one too, because his dad was missing. Spoilers, by the way. They just got absorbed into the network. So
well, I have to admit, I don't remember if they get absorbed like that or if they...
And Reboot?
Yeah. Or if they just like VR'd it. But it was, oh my gosh, there's going to be a season 2. Really? How? There was a season 2.
Did you not? Are you sure you didn't watch it, or you just?
Oh no! I totally made it like through 2 episodes, and then I was like,
oh, you didn't like it?
I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't even know if I made it through 2 episodes. I know I'm pretty sure I made it through 1 episode. They're like 2-hour long episode 1.
I wish they still had ratings on Netflix.
They do. Thumbs up and thumbs down. Because that's all anybody voted. All people did was give a 1 or a 10. No one ever voted 5s. That's why they made it thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you talking about that you can't see what it is rated?
No, that's what I was talking about. But I can't see like what the rating is on here.
No, I see.
Like at all. All you can do is thumbs up, thumbs down.
So it's for my algorithm, not for... See? I made it into episode 2.
And then stopped.
Okay, the first episode apparently was only 23 minutes long.
Well, that's not surprising. That's usually what TV shows are like.
It was...
Well, I guess Netflix TV shows are different.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, also back on Netflix with their things. It's like with normal TV, you would know, or broadcast TV, with it be somewhere between a month before the end of the season to 2 months after the season's end, whether your shows are getting renewed or not. Unless somebody else ends up picking it up and they do
not
whatever.
Not always.
Usually, fairly common.
I guess I'm thinking anime.
Yeah, I guess
anime is different because they gotta wait for source material.
Yeah,
or they don't, and then it sucks.
Mm-hmm. So there is stuff like that. But with broadcast TV, for the most part, Netflix, you literally can be like, oh, remember that show that you liked? Yeah, we're making a season 2 3 years later.
Wasn't Castlevania like that?
I feel like it. I don't know. There's so many. Like, Netflix is so inconsistent.
And then they did that with Love, Death, and Robots.
And there's a 3rd season already on the horizon next year.
Supposedly.
They advertised it.
Yeah,
they said it.
So?
Unlike a lot of stuff, usually if they say this, that usually is. But
Unless
they don't say stuff like that often. I think Love, Death, and Robots is one of those subscribe to Netflix things right now.
Oh, Reboot came out much later than I thought it did. The reboot.
Exactly.
The reboot of the reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm catching up on shows.
I can see that.
Obviously. Lucifer.
Yes.
Actually, Lucifer is a... Yeah, of all the shows... Okay, so let's go with what you're looking at. I've got to finish up Carmen Sandiego, a show based on a video game. Absolutely worth it.
What about Dota? Similar thing.
Okay, yes. I don't remember... I feel like I've played Dota. I don't remember playing Dota. Is it one of those, like...
Did you play League? League of Legends?
So is it like League?
It's like League.
Okay.
So it's a real-time... Well, okay, it's not a real-time strategy, but you're in that same kind of camera view.
And you run down lanes.
It's like League, yeah.
You run down lanes and you try to...
At least Dota 2 is like that. I'm pretty sure the original Dota was a mod, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, I think I might... So the story behind it is interesting. I don't know the story, if there is a story behind Dota the video game, but I'm liking the cartoon. It's really good.
Okay.
Yes.
So Dota, the series began in 2003 with the release of Defense of the Ancients, a fan-developed multiplayer online battle arena or MOBA mod for the video game Warcraft 3 Region of Chaos and its expansion, The Frozen Throne. So it was a fan-made mod at first, and then Valve developed the second one.
Nice.
Back to what you were saying.
Right. So I have two cartoons based off of games. So Carmen Sandiego, I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and they do a really good bringing up of tying it into the game and learning. Also, it's very much where in the world is Carmen Sandiego.
Mm-hmm.
Dota, I don't know if there's any story behind the game, but I feel like they're doing a very good job with dragon hunters and a lot of wibbly wobbly mumbo jumbo. I'm liking it though a lot. It kind of reminds me like the Last Dragon or the Prince Dragon or whoever it was.
The Dragon Prince.
The Dragon Prince. I had all the words there eventually. The Dragon Prince, and the art style kind of reminds me of a lot of DC stuff that they've done. But it's really interesting. They obviously Live, Death, Robot. I finished it, but there's just jumping back around on me. And then I have 2 shows based off of DC cartoons. Comic books.
Lucifer based off of?
Lucifer's based off of a DC comic book.
Right, but which one?
Lucifer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that is the name of his comic.
Real original DC.
But latest season, I'm playing catch up on that. It's with minimal spoilers. Daddy shows up.
Who's Daddy?
Who's Lucifer's dad?
Well, depending on who you ask.
Who created the Lucifer?
I guess Lucifer's Christian mythology anyways, but...
Yeah.
Or religion. Wow, okay. Is it Bob?
It's capital dog. G-O dog.
Dog? But in reverse?
It's God. Yes.
It's God.
It's the Allstate man. I think we talked about this before when they did the ad. The Allstate guy.
Allstate guy.
The commercials.
I know what you're talking about.
He's God.
I only remember the Mayhem guy.
Do you remember him now?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Like, I think of Bruce Almighty because he was God in that too.
Was he?
What's the guy's name? That looks like him. I can't remember his name for some reason.
And you're making me look this one up really quick.
Sure am.
Let's see.
This is one of my favorite movies when I was little.
Morgan Freeman?
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
That's not him?
That's not even close.
I didn't know. I just barely glanced, okay?
Well, yeah, I'm going to go no.
He was God in Bruce Almighty, so that's who I thought you were talking about.
No. Let me get a better picture for you. How about this?
Okay. Instead of a tiny picture.
Yeah. Let's see if I can...
Him?
That is an old picture of him. But yeah. It is him. That is a really old photo.
What else was he in?
Well, like I said, you usually know him as lately the commercials for Allstate.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yep, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. There's some better photos. More modern. Not Morgan Freeman. Though I also love a lot of the underlying tone behind this. So, like, God is black. The oldest son is black.
And Lucifer?
Okay. And he's an angel. The Lucifer is white. The angel's wings are black. Lucifer's wings are white. Yes. Yes, there's a lot of...
That's backwards from current.
Oh, it's
Christian.
backwards from what a lot of people think of with the things, and that's...
But geographically speaking...
Well,
at least for Jesus.
That's another thing, and that we can totally, like...
I could go off the rails on that one, but...
Yeah. So there's a lot. So, Lucifer, Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is very interesting. Plague ends up coming, wiping out the entire planet, or a good chunk of the planet. And about 10 years ago, children were starting to be born with animal features. They were hybrids. So
for no reason?
No one knows where the virus came from. No one knows where the hybrids came from. But
so they modified
humans were suddenly being born like in the normal way that humans become made. Mother, father, no weirdness with this. but the child is born as a hybrid.
No, like Greek mythology stuff going on?
Nope, nothing of that. No crossbreeding, just normal birth, but they...
And were these people who survived the... Like, did they get sick with it, or or are they carrying the virus, or...
They didn't explain it. All that's the thing is
because my little theory going on in my head, and cause it sounds like the virus modified their whatever
their genetics.
Yeah, the not necessarily because you could modify your genetics, but if you're like, what are those type of cells called? Whatever makes babies, like those cells. If you if you don't modify those, then your offspring is still going to have your DNA from before. So it would have had to modify that and not the people themselves.
It's very interesting because then there's also are they immune? Are they... And obviously, the Last Men is an evil group that's coming along, and they're trying to wipe all of the hybrids out because it's the hybrids who caused the plague, and they must all be wiped off the face of the planet. And there's other people who are like, the hybrids are the ones who are going to survive. And it's somebody put it as the anti-Walking Dead. There's a lot more happiness than there is evil, just kill the zombies mentality.
Well, because with zombies, they're clearly zombies and a hindrance, whereas
Are they? You can... I
mean, they want to kill you. They all of them want to kill you. All of them. In most franchises.
True. Unless they become a worm body.
The only one I can think of where that happens is Zombieland Saga.
I was thinking warm bodies.
No.
That's why I was saying
that's just the one I've seen recently.
It was interesting. I haven't seen Zombieland Saga. But
you know what I'm talking about though, right?
I'm thinking Zombieland.
No.
Then no.
Remember that one anime intro I had you watch that?
Oh, that one? Yes.
Starts off all happy and then
you also
right into metal.
You should watch Warm Bodies. It's kind of
I think I'm going to watch Sweet Tooth more than anything.
True. Okay, I recommend Sweet Tooth. Lucifer I highly recommend as well, but that's Lucifer also has sometimes these slow build up and then kind of lulls out and then it spikes up.
Can you look for movies on TV Time's website? Or is it they have an update?
I really need to keep my TV Time updated. But we should probably wrap things up because look at the time.
Sweet a tooth.
Yes.
Oh, you can still add stuff. Look at that.
Look, you can even it's even in the top numbers.
Sweet. Oh wow, it's in the top, the number one.
Actually,
and
I was just thinking the shows I'm watching are in the same order as what I'm working on.
And then you got whatever that one is, and then another one, and then 2 cartoons.
Yep. That's the top 10 in the U.S. What else we got in here? Interesting.
Monster vs. Aliens, huh? Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising.
Ragnarok seems a little interesting.
I kind of want to see Loki.
Oh, yeah. Loki looks interesting when it comes out. I think Netflix actually just released a new anime too. But we should probably wrap things up still.
Okay.
You have any famous last words?
Nope, never do.
Neither do I.